welcome to Movement with Laurelle, hosted by Wild Wandering Creations. I'm Laurelle, and I'm going to be leading you through this practice today. Some of you might not know this, but I suffer from chronic low back pain, and recently it's been giving me a little bit more trouble. So I wanted to share with all of you my go-to kind of sequence and my favorite yoga poses and practice that I always lean in towards when I start to feel that low back pain. So all you'll need is comfortable clothes. We're gonna do most of the practice on our back today, and I recommend having a block or something that just gives you a little bit of height, a little bit of added support. So go ahead, hop into those comfortable clothes, and we'll get started. So we're gonna start off on our backs today. So we're gonna start off in a constructive rest pose. So you can bring the soles of the feet towards the earth, and the arms can just fall alongside the body here. Start to just close down the eyes. Let the back of the head rest on the earth. And then offer yourself a few deep breaths as you start to settle in. So start to feel that nice long line down the spine. Start to feel the support of the earth underneath you. And let those sighs go out the mouth. Good. One more just like that. Let it go. Now just start to feel that support. Start to settle into your mat, settle into your practice, and see if you can release any expectations you have for the practice. Now, if you're like me and you like to move and you're a fairly active person, having low back pain or low back discomfort can be really frustrating, especially because you can't move in the same way that you normally would. So allow yourself to kind of just feel anything that you're feeling. Let those frustrations go. And then just focus on that support of the low back. If it feels good for you, you can take the feet a little bit wider, and then maybe just start to find some windshield wipers side to side with the knees. Now only go as far as it feels good for that back. Now low back pain can be really, really intense, or it can just be that little twinge or that little activation of pain that you know can lead to something more. So just give yourself that space to kind of meet yourself where you're at, know your limitations today, and only do what feels okay in your body. Now you're going to start to slowly still the knees, still the movement, and bring the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a squeeze, give yourself a gentle rock side to side. And then releasing the sole of the left foot towards the earth, you're going to start to hug that right knee in towards the chest. And now maybe here, depending on the flexibility you have in the hip, you can just reach for the outer edge of the knee and just start to gently pull that knee out towards the side. Or you can start to reach for the outer edge of that right foot, coming into that half happy baby and pulling everything a little closer. If it feels good, you can close down the eyes or just soften the gaze. And start to breathe into that right hip. Start to feel that nice opening. And anytime that you get in your head or you start to feel that discomfort creeping in, let those sighs go. Ease off where you need to. And breathe here for 3. Breathe here for 2. And 1. You're going to gently release that right foot. Let it land just above that left knee. And you're going to gently press that right knee away from the body. Now again, this is a really, really great place to stay. Or you can start to reach behind that left thigh, interlace the hands, and start to pull everything in towards you. Keep the feet flexed. Find that figure 4 stretch and breathe here. Now this is a great place to stay as well. Or you can start to extend that left leg towards the sky, deepening it just a little bit more. Find one more deep breath. On your exhale, start to bend into that left knee if it's straight. And then you're going to release the hands from behind that left thigh. Let the feet land. And right away, you're going to take the arms either in a cactus shape, depending on how much space you have, or you can take it into a T shape. Now you're going to shift your hips over towards the right, and you're going to let the legs start to fall over towards that left side. Now, If the bind feels too intense here, that's okay. You can just gently release that right knee on top and just come into that nice supine twist. So find what works for you here. Open up through the chest. Start to breathe some space into the low back. Sometimes that low back pain is a result of like tight hips. So this is a really, really great shape to kind of like open up here, lengthen through that side body, and start to kind of just breathe a little space into that low back, that low spine. One more deep breath here. And then slowly start to come up through center. If you still have the legs bound, you can gently release them. Take the feet out nice and wide once more. And let's find those windshield wipers side to side. Good. Slowly come back through center. You're going to start to hug the knees back in towards the chest. Give yourself that squeeze. Give yourself that gentle rock side to side. And then keeping that left knee hugging in, you're going to gently release the right foot down towards the earth, and maybe reach for the outer edge of the left knee. And maybe reach for the outer edge of the left foot. You decide how deep you want to take this. Keep bending into that left knee. Notice how this side feels. And then start to pay attention for that, where that tightness, where that tension, that stickiness on the low back is starting to kind of come in. Ease into the breath. Notice if you're clenching, holding anywhere else in the body, and see if you can let it go. One more full breath here. And then start to slowly bring that left ankle just above that right knee. Come back into that figure four, stretch on the other side. And again, this is a new side, so we can do something completely different. Maybe you stay here, just pressing that left knee away from you. Or maybe you go full into it, reaching behind that right thigh, flexing through the toes, interlacing the hands, bringing the legs a little closer. Stay here, and maybe you extend the right leg towards the sky. Breathe here for 3. Breathe here for 2. And 1. Start to bend into that right knee if it's straight. Start to release the right foot down towards the earth. You're going to take those arms out in that cactus shape, maybe that T shape, and then you're going to shift your hips over towards the left side and start to allow the feet to fall over towards the right. Now again, if that bind feels too intense on this side, just release that left knee on top of the right. Gaze can pull away from the knees. If you have that leg still bound, maybe that right hand finds that left ankle, taking it a little deeper. Close the eyes, soften into it. We're here for 3. We're here for 2. And 1. Slowly release. Let's come back through center. Release the bind. Feet come out nice and wide. Find that little windshield wiper, side to side. And then start to still that movement. Heel toe those feet back in line. Knees are still up towards the hips. You can bring those heels a little closer towards the seat. Maybe just graze the back of the heels with your fingertips. And then you're going to grab a hold of your block. So you're going to press into the heels, draw the tailbone up just enough so that you can start to lift the hips and you can slide that block underneath the low back. Now find that position that feels supportive. Sometimes we can cause a little pinching here, so just make sure that it's nice and supported and that there's no pinching or discomfort in the low back here. Now this is a great place to stay. This is our supported bridge. Or if you want to try something a little different, we're going to come into a waterfall where we extend the legs up towards the sky. Now you can just let the legs dangle here and maybe roll out through the ankles. Something that I love to do is I love to kind of open up my legs nice and wide, just letting myself explore, and then maybe bend into one knee and bend into the other. And I kind of just like to play with the air and just kind of move my legs around and just explore. Now we have this like misconception that when our low back is hurt, that we just want to rest and we don't want to move and we just want to be still. Whereas a little bit of movement is actually really good because it makes sure that nothing locks and holds. So these are moves that I like to do that are gentle enough that I know won't cause me to throw at my back and create more pain. Of course, everybody's different. Always listen to your body and go to a doctor when you need to. A couple more breaths here. And then let's extend the legs up towards the sky. One full breath here. Exhale, release. One by one, you can let the feet come down towards the earth. Soles of the feet ground down. Keep the block where it is. You can keep the arms alongside the body, or if it feels good, you can take the arms overhead, lengthening through the body and opening up through the spine. Now allow yourself to just settle into the shape for a moment. Nice supported bridge. You should feel really good on the low back. Adds a little extra support. 5 deep breaths. Listen to the rhythm. Notice where that breath is taking up space. Allow the world to get a little quiet. Allow the body to be still. Allow yourself this moment of rest. And remind yourself that sometimes the body is guiding us into slower movement, stillness. So try not to be too hard on yourself when those frustrating feelings come up, when we experience pain, or when our body feels like it's limiting us. One more full breath. Next exhale, let's take the arms alongside the body. Let's start to slowly slide that block from underneath the low back. Roll down slowly. Block can set off to the side. And I want you to take your hands just to the lower abdomen. And we're going to just find a nice pelvic rock here. This is one of my all-time favorite moves for any low back pain. So generally, we have a little bit of space between the floor and the low back. It's just like minuscule, really, really tiny, because there's like this natural curve in the spine. Now I want you to draw your awareness to the tailbone, and on your next in-breath, you're going to draw the tailbone up towards the sky, and you should feel that whole spine connect with the earth. Then as you exhale, I want you to find that gentle release, and that natural curve comes back in. So let's follow the breath. Inhale, tailbone rises. Exhale, let it release. Now those hips stay grounded this whole time. It's just a pelvic rock. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Exhale, let it go. 3 more just like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. 2 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to release. 1 more here. Tailbone lifts. And gently let it go. Good. Now find that stillness here in this shape. Start to breathe some space into the lower abdomen, into the low back. Feel the breath travel the length of the spine, and allow yourself a moment here in constructive rest. This is one of my all-time favorite shapes, and I feel like it's so underrated. So seeing if you can maybe take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Feel the breath and move through you. And just close your eyes for a couple moments as you just give yourself this space to be. Don't worry about where you need to be. Don't worry about where you were before. Just giving that low back a little bit of love. Breathing space into the spine, into the shoulders. And softening through the muscles of the face. Breathe here for 3. Breathe here for 2. And 1. Just taking a moment for yourself, thanking yourself for showing up, for moving, even if it's slowly, even if it's not as much movement as you're craving. Thank yourself for showing up. Maybe set an intention for your day. And with gratitude for our practice and with gratitude for our community, thank you so much for holding space with me today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.